deeper and try to understand more, actually simpler, but deeper but simpler, into what we've been talking about. But what we've been talking about is the Nefesh Hachaim in Shaar Beis Parak Yud Aleph, who speaks about tefillah in a different way than we normally think about it. Tefillah, this will bring everybody up to date. Tefillah we usually view as kind of a way of helping ourselves. Self-care, spiritual self-care. You go to the doctor, you go to shul. And you say, Rafa'inu Hashem v'nei Rafei, Slach lanu avinu ki chetanu shma koleinu. You're sitting and we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take care of us. This is Vaday Emes. We shouldn't lose that kavanah. Vaday Emes. Tefillas are heard and accepted by Hashem. But it's not the sophisticated level of tefillah of the Nefesh Hachaim and many, many svarim before him and after him. And that is the lashon of Chazal, tzorech gavoya. Tefillah l'tzorech gavoya, meaning it doesn't mean for a higher purpose, but we're davening for the sake of Shemayim, which is something which is easy to skip, because what in the world does it mean davening for Shemayim? And for Shemayim, what are you davening for Hashem? Hashem is perfect. There's nothing missing that has to be davened for. And I brought it with me. I want to learn it with you today. A passage from Rav Kook in Oris HaKodesh, which is a very hard lashon, and if we understand 1/3 of it, it's also okay, because the point that he's making, I think, is very, very profound. There is. Let me just show you something else. We were talking last Thursday, Rosh Chodesh, so we were talking about Hallel, and we spoke about that Shemayim Shemayim LaHashem v'aretz nosan livnei Adam loy hamesim yahalleluya v'loy kol yardei duma v'anachnu nevarech ya me'atov yad olam. So what the pshat, and I quoted the Netziv, who's the Talmud of Reb Chaim Volozhin, and this is the Imrei Shefer I mentioned, and I want to mention again. It's the Haggadah of the Imrei Shefer. That's the Haggadah that the Talmidim wrote after the Seder of the Netziv. They wrote it on Chol HaMoed. After the Netziv made his Seder, and hundreds of people from the town, from Volozhin, would come to listen to the Seder of the Netziv, and actually Rav Kook was learned in Volozhin under the Netziv, and he wrote the introduction to the Imrei Shefer, describing the Seder of the Netziv. And the theme, if you'll go through the Imrei Shefer, it's just so fascinating. The whole Haggadah, the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim, the whole Dayenu, the whole, and Hallel, no different than the rest, is all about that Hashem, I'm putting it in my simple words, Hashem chose us as a people because we have now become, listen to the language, the shutafim, the partners with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Ma'aseh Bereishis, partners. And the partnership is a hashlama, meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shemayim LaHashem. That was there. Ha'aretz nosan livnei Adam. It's a very interesting word, nosan. This is your domain. I think I explained maybe last week or a couple of weeks ago, just like the Gemara says that v'rapa yirape, that a rofe can heal. So the Gemara says mikan shenitin rishus l'rofe l'rape. So I pointed out that's wrong Hebrew. It's not, Hashem didn't give a rishus to a rofe to be merape. He's not doing any chet. Nitin rashus, like rashut hamisim, rashut. Rashut means he gave him a domain. There is a domain in this world, a rashut, that's what a rashut is. An authority, right? Like the tax authority, the real estate authority, whatever, all the different, the agriculture authority. There's the rashut harufuah that Hashem put this in our hands. Hashemayim Shemayim LaHashem, va'aretz nosan livnei. Doesn't mean that you can't daven to Hashem. Of course you should daven to Hashem for refuah. That's the way it works. The way it works is that you daven to Hashem. The Rofe himself should be davening to Hashem, and the Rofe is carrying out Bigashmius, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is carrying out Baruchnius. That's the Marechet. That's the design of the world. That's what we're here for. So the Netziv is Marech on this, as is the whole school of Volozhin, and before him the Arizal. that the Inyan, our Inyan here is to be a shutaf b'maisa bereishis, like kol hadon din emes la'amitoy nasa shutaf la'kadosh baruch hu b'maasa bereishis. How are you a shutaf with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? You are carrying out the Maisa Bereishis. This is the purpose of the Maisa Bereishis. The Maisa Bereishis is to carry out. Rav Kook takes it further, which I'd like to look at inside with you, but in other words, why did he do this, Hashem? That's already like the ultimate question. Why did he do this? Why did he just carry it out? I mean, the answer is if he didn't create people, nobody would get sick. If nobody would get sick, you wouldn't need a rashut. So the whole thing is, but the tefillah is a big part of it. Like tefillah, if you're not a doctor and you're not in the tzahal, so tefillah is something that everybody can do, and with tefillah or Torah or any type of, it's L'tzarech Gavoa. L'tzarech Gavoa means you are connecting the downstairs world to the upstairs world and making the whole circle work. And in that sense, I quoted the Netziv last week, that the lower you get into the world, the more you're Makayim, the Tzarech Gavoya, because the whole purpose of the world, in other words, so then you have tshuva. That's what I explained tshuva, that if everything is a circle from Shemayim to Aretz, Aretz to Shemayim, Shemayim to Aretz, here's the shutfus, here's the bria, the marechet. So tshuva is really the best, because tshuva deals really with an avera. You've really gotten grungy, down and low in the dirt. So to take that and to be makadosh that l'tzarech gavoya, so gedola tshuva shemagas ad kisei hakavod. Tshuva has to improve me. What does it have to get to the kisei hakavod for? The answer is shutaf, the ma'aseh bereishis. You are energizing the kisei hakavod. It's a fascinating idea. Just turn the page in the Netziv. Just I want to. It says. It says Yakar be'enei Hashem hamavsa l'chasidav. Ma'ashiv l'Hashem kol tag mulay. We thank you so much, Hashem. Ma'ashiv l'Hashem kol tag mulay alay. Koysu shuis eso b'shem Hashem ekras. Very happy, right? Nice tune for it. Nidarai l'Hashem Hashem negdo no l'chalamay. B'chatzris Bais Hashem. All of a sudden we throw in this Yakar be'enei Hashem hamavsa l'chasidav. What is the translation? Taich. Somebody help me. Kasheh. So Yakar, Achlaikas Rishonim, it's the same derech of Arimimcha Hashem ki dilisani. What the Yakar can mean kasheh, as you say, and Yakar can mean valuable. Yakar, Damim Yakarim. Yakar can mean both ways. Why is valuable called Yakar? Because it's kasheh lasik. So Yakar be'enei Hashem ha'mav chasidav is a. So the Netziv says as follows, Imre Shefer. Hein efsher lahashiv gmul Hashem. There is a way to do something which is this, we're not recommending this, just there is a way to do something which is inarguably kulo l'Hashem. The ultimate sacrifice is kulo l'Hashem. He gives the example, Reb Chaim Volozhin, a chayal goes on the battlefield and puts his life, takes a bullet. It's kulo l'Hashem. There's no what does he think he's going to have a nice levaya? I mean, it's kulo l'Hashem. It's kulo l'Hashem Shemayim. Kal v'chomer Eretz Yisrael. So that's the ultimate. Hey nefsher lahashiv gmul Hashem. It is there. But what are you doing? I'm taking the gashmias, and I'm really creating something ruchnius. So what's the statement there? The statement is there's nothing more important in my life than God, Klal Yisrael, the world. There's nothing more important than that, and I become total nothing. L'kadosh shmo yisbarach barabhim al yedei mesiras nefesh. Who covered Gadol Hashem? Tidichsiv says in the Torah, v'nikdashti b'soich b'nei Yisrael. V'nikdashti. There's such a thing. V'hu davar yakar be'enei Hashem. Rav Cooperman in his Pirush on this Haggadah brings this machlokes rishonim. This is not my bekiyas, that Yakar could go this way, Yakar could go that way. But he says that the stimus harishonim is that the Yakar Hashem appreciates, if you will. It's Yakar. It is very valuable. It's not very common. It's unusual. Hamav Salah Hasidav. But then we say it's tefillah as follows. Ono Hashem, ki ani avdecha ben avodecha, pitachta l'moiseirai. However, maybe let me try to do this while I'm alive better. I'll be your Eved, ani avdecha, ono Hashem, ki ani avdecha ben amasecha, ani avdecha ben amasecha, pitachta l'moiseirai. Open up, potachta l'moiseirai. You're good with the taich. What is it? Open up my chains. Yeah, take off the, let me go free. Pitachta l'moiseirai. Does it go further? I don't have it in front of me. Huh? So he says as follows, that this is the in other words, this is for the rest of us. This is for the rest of us. Ana Hashem ki ani avdecha muchen hineni l'sharis b'kodesh v'avoda tzarech gavoya hui. Exactly the lashon of Reb Chaim Volozhin. But toiv yoser, it's even better. Liyos b'chaim l'avdecha kamay ha'adayin ha'shoifet as avdai she'eno shoifet adam misa b'asher tzarech l'chayev. Hashem created us to be alive. So of course, He didn't create us to be dead. I mean, we're not a death cult. If necessary, so I'm willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. But the most important thing, I tell you, I heard something so gewaldig. Somebody was at a seminar of some sort. It was for Chilonim. And there was this woman told me this is a Balas Tshuva who took her mother to this. Her mother is not religious. And took her to this, I don't remember what it was, Arachim, maybe in my mind, I think she said Rabbi Tauber, maybe she said. But anyways, he told us, I think Rabbi Tauber speaks a lot about the Holocaust. And so he was telling the story that he was telling the assembled that in the death camps of Treblinka, not only killed people, but there was a sinister, killing there. And one of the things that they did, I think infamously, was they took the paroches from the shul and they put it on the doorway to the gas chamber. And on the paroches it said, Za Shaar Lashem Tzadikim Elchuva. It was a way to knock, add insult to injury. That's what the parocha said on the doorway to Treblinka. And who was leading the seminar pointed out that they meant to mock, but the fact of the matter is the Jews that were going to their death, they actually got a lot of chizuk from because it reminded them they're transforming from one world to the next world. So the mother and father of this Balas Tshuva, so they were looking, as was described, very skeptical throughout the entire seminar, not very happy with everything that was being said, the looks, but old people. And the father said, this girl's father said that he saw that. He was in Treblinka. He saw that piece of Shaar Tzedek, and when he saw, he says, "You're talking about people getting chizuk from it, sort of chizuk." He says, when he saw it, and he saw people that were much holier than he, and much more learned than he, and much more observant than he saw them walking through that curtain, and so he actually became very angry at God, and then he was somehow saved. And he got even more angry that you see how the whole thing doesn't make any sense at all. So, but he was thinking as the rabbi was talking. It's not the rabbi; it was this guy, the Apokorus. He was thinking that okay, so what does it mean to be B'Kadei Shem Shamayim Zashar Hashem Tzadikim Yavoyu Voy? By dying, but there's also a way to do it by living. And he said, I have a daughter who's a Balas Tshuva. So I made my sacrifice.
Weinberg said, he used to ask people, you're willing to die for being Jewish? say, yeah. He said, you're willing to live.
Yeah. To live on Kiddush Hashem, it's a more difficult situation because it takes longer.
It's not a one-shot thing.
It's not a one-shot decision. It's like living on Kiddush Hashem. I mean, it just the end of the whole story was that this fellow donated parochas to his Beit HaKnesset, which said Zeh Shaar LaHashem Tzadikim, in memory of those that died in Treblank. It was the end of the story. But the point is, Ani avdecha ben amosecha pitachta l'moiserai, that I have another way to do l'tzorech gavoya. I mean, like Misa is the ultimate in tzorech gavoya, but there's a better way to do tzorech gavoya. Hang the parochas right here, and by doing that, Ani avdecha ben amosecha pitachta l'moiserai. So take off my handcuffs and let me do Kulo Lashem. So the Nefesh Hachaim, Perek Yud Aleph, tells us that the correct way to daven, and this is I'm finding this to be personally a difficult avoda, I have to admit, but the correct way to daven is not, there could be three ways, or there could be four ways. One is you just don't daven with kavanah, that's one thing. But you could daven with kavanah, okay, at least davening on it. But you could daven with kavanah that Hashem help me, like I'm coming to shul and help me, like that's good, that's mashu. The higher way of kavanah is what the Ruach Chaim says. That's Reb Chaim Volozhin in Pirkei Avos. He says that the higher way to daven is to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has tsar when we have tsar. Darga 2 in kavanah. Yeah. Hashem is tsar when we have tsar, so don't just daven for yourself. It's hard to understand it, but it is what it is. Hashem has tsar when we have tsar. But the ultimate way to daven is tzarech gavoya. And that means that I'm here a soldier. I'm here in this world, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a marechet, and I'm part of the marechet. So don't, if you get involved in your own things, you can get involved in your own things, but then you're not, like you're in the army now. So the idea is to be mishtatef b'maaseh bereishis. To be mishtatef b'maaseh bereishis means to do our part in the circle, and somehow through tefillah, and he explains this by arichos, al pi Kabbalah, somehow through tefillah we're pushing this button in Shemayim and that button in Shemayim, and we're actually making things happen. We're actually making things happen. We're making the world. Every person who davens every word. This is, he says, are the words of the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah. They knew how to push the buttons in Shemayim. Comes Rav Kook, if you please, do me a favor and indulge me because this is a hard limud. But let me just, I made copies for you. You can help me with the Hebrew. To say that Rav Kook, by the way, doesn't write in Hebrew. I don't know what language it is. It's not exactly Hebrew. Okay. I don't understand Shakespeare and I don't understand Rav Kook so much, but if you go over it and over and over it, you understand it. Okay, sorry. I'm always a pessimist when it comes to attendance here. So he says as follows. This is an Oros HaKodesh, Kehillat Bais. He says, and I was actually going through this for a different. Ha'itiyut. Let's translate. Ha'itiyut. Graduality. Graduality. Like, the world is a gradual place. Things develop gradually. Shebeseder hametzius, in the existence of the world, hahagbala shebeteva, there's a certain limitation in nature. Harashlanus hachitzonish shala, things seem, trees are slow to grow. Rashlanut, they're slow to grow. Hatzimtzum shebalius ruchnius, that, okay, this is tzimtzum. Tzimtzum means, what does tzimtzum mean? However you want to understand it, what?
Constriction.
Okay, constriction, contraction, all the words. What it means is that something Ein Sofi, intimate, is becoming something finite. It's a pella, how it works, how can it work, big machlokes, the world is divided. But one thing is for sure, Hashem created the world, yesh me'ayin, so that means that something infinite became something finite, and here we are, finite beings. But there's a spark of infinity within everything that's finite. And this, of course, the Baal HaTanya is Myrachan for 8 or 9 prakim, the infinite within the finite. This seems to be a machlokes Reb Chaim Volozhin and the Baal HaTanya, which is very difficult to find. I mean, it sounds to me like they're saying the same thing. I always point out, but it's so subtle. But hatzimtzum shebal yisroch is not important for us. Ha'arayu shebenisim. How seldom do miracles happen? It's not like, every time you need a kriyas yamsuf, you call the 011 and you get it. Kol ele machzike hayisoid shel hayisalus bilti poisekes. All of these things, all of the natural phenomenon of the world, all of those things are machzike hayisoid shel hayisalus bilti poisekes. Remember what we said on Thursday, that in the spheros, there's chesed, gevurah, tiferes, netzachoid, yisoid, malchus, yisoid, midas hayisoid. Tzaddik, yisoid, olam. Midas hayisoid is where heaven touches earth. That's what's midas hayisoid. Baal Tshuva, as I quoted, is the Zayar, is malchus, tiefengerert. It goes deeper in. So midas hayisoid. Hayisoid shall hayisalus, habilti poisekes. Within everything that's finite, there's yisoid shel hayisalus, that which can go up and becomes infinite. So inside of everything which is finite, there's something infinite. Shehu hayisoid apnimi shel hametzias. This is, let's call it, in our language, the neshama of everything which is created. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. So I just want to get rid of it. If you take this too literally, you could become pantheistic. We don't want to do that. You could start worshiping tables and things. But which is the makor of avodah zarah. Well, if everything has a neshama, so everything has the spark of God. We're not being over avodah zarah here. But what we are saying is that if everything is yesh me'ayin, it doesn't. The ayin shabai doesn't. The nothingness in it, or the infinity in it, doesn't get lost. So there's an infinity in everything that's finite. Shetaspik hayirida. And it's so limited, it's stuck. Let's just think about these words. Pitachta l'moiserai. Let me go. Let me fly. Pitachta l'moiserai. Ani avducha ben amosecha. Pitachta l'moiserai. Unchain me. Unchain me, because what is the me? The me is the ruchnius in me, which is so bound up and so stuck because of all of the practical considerations. It's very difficult. I'm just give you a very personal mashal, just in one sentence. It's very difficult to be idealistic in a political world, because the moment that you are idealistic and say, hey, maybe we should do things l'tzarech kavaya, maybe we should stop concentrating so much on the chitzonius, so we should worry about the pnimius. You get knocked down. It's very, very difficult to let your pnimi go. It's a very difficult thing, because there's a lot of gvul, as he puts it, yesh lo gvul b'toich gvul. Yesh lo gvul b'toich gvul. Even if you're in the place where they do that, it has a gvul. It's a gvul b'toich gvul. Shetaspik hayirida shel hiskalos hametzias ha'olamis ad umka hayoser yorod. Now this phenomenon of the ruchnius, I'm calling it for simplicity, the neshama in every single physical thing, it goes ad umka hayoser yorod, to the lowest possible place.
What's taspik?
To be misapek, to furnish. V'ad machshecha yeser efel. It goes to the afel. It goes to the darkest place. We're talking about the darkest places. La'aliyah nitzchis. You could take the darkest place, and you could find the light within it and bring it up. What the Hasidim call to be mala netzotzos, but that's what he's talking about. B'li shum hefsek. V'chol tkufa. I'm going to skip around because I want to get through it. If you go to where he says Tezvav, The Yud tells us how everything finite has something infinite in it, and how we can take. You're welcome to read this yourself. But everything infinite everything infinite can be unlocked and brought up to the highest places, which goes back to our circle of the way the world is created. Migmat or migamat ha'avaya kula. The purpose or the puzzle of existence. Mitzad hachefetz hakamos ha'ein sofi. It's all about the hidden infinite within the finite. This is a whole new way of thinking. Hikafi hi galoisa lanu, eitza gedoyla shal hisalus v'yisafa nitzchis shim ein metzias shal koiten v'chasarn kizens, loy yuchal liyos rak goydol umiloy, avaloy his godless. And this is really a key to what he's saying here. If I don't understand the whole thing, I understand this. And that is, the Shemayim is perfect. Hashem is perfect. Hashem is great. There's nothing to add there. Nothing to add. You can't improve upon God. You can't do that. There's nothing to add. Hashem is perfect. So he explains that perfection has an inherent chesar in that it can't become greater. It reached the destination. Why is that a chesar? Because part of perfection, he explains here, is the ability to grow. So you can have something which is very big, goydel umilui, avaloi hiskadlos, but there's no room for growth.
The Ramchal in Dastana says something very similar.
Okay. Udricha tadiris l'toisefes bracha. There's no place to go to add. And something which can't grow, like in your career. If you can't grow, then there's something wrong with it. Well, I'm the highest. What do I need to grow for? But when you hit that glass ceiling, so when you hit it, so you're stuck. And in fact, if there's no place to grow in your career, if I could take my mashal, it's actually quite depressing. It's not like, okay, now I'm happy because I've gotten to the top of my career. No. What am I supposed to do now? So you go out and learn how to play football or become an artist or something like that. But what's the so the only mind-boggling words, the only chesarn of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is his perfection. And therefore he says that it must be that Hashem created the world as a sort of an extension to be imperfect so that there's a place for his godless. And hence you have the ability to grow.
He's attributing a chesar to Hashem.
It's not a chesarn. It's a mind-boggling puzzle. V'af al pi she'ein kates la'ilui shel hashlamas hamleya she'ein ba'ilui mitzad ein sof yusa. Mikol makom kollel bo gam kein ze ha'koyach haniskav shel hisalus tadiris. There has to be a way of growing inherent imperfection. V'zen nechshav ki'ilu hashlamas hamuchletas mishtalemas ha'yidei ha'hishtalmus. So we have two interesting words here. Hisgadlus and hishtalmus. They're two interesting binyanim. But hishtalmus is creating perfection. How do you create perfection if it's already perfect? How do you create? It's See, I mentioned yesterday at the bris, just briefly, like Adam is the bechir of the Nivraim, right? We're the best bria, Adam b'chal, like mankind. It's amazing. We can walk, we can talk, we can think, we can analyze, we can cure illnesses, etc. But why is when a baby is born, why is he such a miskin? I mean, like he can't eat, he can't talk, he can't think, he can't, have to take care of everything. He's fragile. Why? Like if he's so great, just make him great. Like Adam Arishan was created like great. And the answer is that the avoda is to grow. The avoda is not to be great. The avoda is to become great. It's not about, and hence bris milah Why, if you're not supposed to have an orlo, so why are you born with one? Because the whole nakuda of bris milah, the whole the covenant that we make with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a covenant of growth. And what's fascinating there is the growth is actually by taking something away, not even by adding something. But it's the covenant of Adam. You're here to grow. So now you grow until you're a bar das, you're a bar mitzvah. You can grow until you're a ben shmona esrei l'chuppah. You can grow and you can grow and you can. When Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, Allah Shalom, when he retired from being the Rosh Yeshiva of Torah Das, who's 66 years old, he said, "Okay, you retired, right? So what are you going to do?" He says, "Now I can finally become a gadol." You know, and he did. He did. Became a gadol outdoors. So finally he gives man. So the avodah, he says, is not in recognizing perfection in the bria, but by taking, the whole idea of malchus, the whole idea of when the geula happens, is that there won't be such a difference between Shemayim and Aretz. Meaning, it's not like in Shemayim there'll be peace, and in Aretz there'll be war. There won't be war. La yisa goy el goy cherev. Why? Because of hishtalmus. We've taken something which is the natural tendency to be territorial, to be hateful. We've taken all those things and we're masaking them until Malach ha'aretz deya, until the whole world becomes Malach ha'aretz deya. So that's the whole idea of the geula. So when we get there, so the Shemayim v'aretz will be there will be swords no more, as the Navi said. There won't be what? We'll put the sword into plowshares. There's no Indian, because we were Makadish the entire world. That's the geula. You got to wrap your brain around it, because make sure you're looking forward to that. But the idea is, it doesn't sound like so much fun actually, but it means that there's this growth, and shis alfei shnin have olam, that the world is 6,000 years old. The world has to grow. He says this. The world has to grow to this point, and then you have the geula. Exactly correct. So the fact, hishtalmut.
Hishtalmut is ours, is our job, not Hashem's job.
Right.
He can't grow further. You already used to.
So exactly right. I agree, exactly right. You're saying better than me. And what it means is there's a shutfus. Hashem can't grow for us, right? Hakol b'dei shemayim chutz miyur shemayim. There's certain things. I can give you the kalim to grow. I can give you I can give you everything, but you can't grow for us. So our mitzias ad hayarud, until the biggest darkness in the lowest place, is the imperfection is the place to perfect. That's where I was talking to a therapist the other day. I said, "What are you good at?" He says, "The worse they are, the better I am." That's what he told me. Like he's not good. Somebody who's got some mild disorders, he doesn't know how to deal with it. But if they're really, really bad, he can handle it better, because I guess that's his tikkun. In other words, this is our challenge when we see something which is so difficult to do, and so void, what seems to be so void of any kind of ruchnius, to find the perfection within it and within ourselves. Dafka in the places. See, there's a little bit of chizuk here, a lot of chizuk here, because like most of us, I think, you say, okay, I can do this, I could go to shul, I could put on tefillin, I could give tzedakah, but when you come to a certain thing, like zalabishvili, I know my limitations, I can't do it, but actually, when it comes, whatever, everyone's got their thing, I don't want to get involved with it. This I can't do, maybe an Indian of mitos, maybe an Indian of shalom, this I can't do. And the truth of the matter is that all of those things are important, but when you hit that spot, that's where, that's where the fun begins, actually, because all the other things are just to get to there. It's all to get to that point where this I can't do. Oh, so now to be mishtalmut in that's exactly the koach of the bria. Let's just move. Let's move to Yud Zayin. I'm sorry to skip around just in the interest of time. Every word here is not skippable, but what can So what we can understand from this whole thing on Yud Zayin, second page, Shnei Arachim Shel Hashlama. There's two types of perfection. Arach Echad Shel Hashlama, one type of perfection, Shemitzad Godlo Gmirasa Ein Shaykh Bo Yisafah Shel Mala. One type of perfection is perfection. Hashem is perfect. Perfection. It's great. It's perfect. I'm saying you're saying something perfect here. That's one type of perfection. Avlim Loi Haisa, and I think this is probably Im Loi Haisa, Hoav Sharus Shel Hosafa Hayazeb Ba'atzmai Inyan Chasarin. Get it? Is that everything I just said? Did I say correctly? Meaning, if perfection has no way to grow, so then perfection has a fault. You know, it sounds very esoteric, but it's really very down to earth. Actually, I'd be like when you meet somebody who's perfect, it's obnoxious,
If he was perfect,
it's true.
If he was perfect, Hashem would have taken him
Right.
no reason, because if you're not growing, there's no reason to be here.
Isn't the prevention of Avera also a growing experience? So someone's perfect, they're always in the process of rejecting, lowering themselves. So that's a growing process.
But once he becomes perfect, once he's over the asar nisyarnus, he gets past it, so then he's perfect. So what happens then?
There's always tests, no matter what.
Yeah. I don't know. But yes, because that's exactly what he's saying, that as long as we're alive, right? Imruchi gviati, as long as I'm alive, so there's where to go. There's where to go. Ki hashleimus haholeches v'nosefes tamid yesh ba itaron v'tanug ve'ezem min halah shanu argim la kol kach. The ability to grow is something we are so yearning for. Halicha mechayol el chayol, mechayol el chayol. Asher al ken loy tuchol hashleimus elikis liyos chasera zeh yitaron shaloi safas koich. Impossible to say that the perfection of Hashem can be perfect without us. So our shleimus is making we don't have to say really Hashem, but what Hashem created in Shemayim is imperfect, bedafka, so that it can grow into something greater. Like a tree grows, like a person grows. This is, and that is the definition of perfection. That's why God thought of this idea of creating the world, says he. I don't know what that word is, alikis, I guess. So here's the thing. You need to find the, here's the thing. You have to find the activating switch on every single item of Gashmis, including ourselves, and find out how you're ma'alit to a place of Mila. How do you get this up to a higher thing? You got to find it in everything. It's not just saying everything's min hashomayim and akob. That's not what there's something deeper about it here. It's finding out, figuring out, and spending time to figure out why did Hashem create every. Let's take ourselves, which is easier than talking about tables and chairs. So and find out where we can turn darkness into light. And dafka, where the darkness is the place of hitalut. I tell you a quick story. I tell you a quick story. I was friends. I guess everybody says this, but I was friends with Shlomo Carlebach. He one time I was living in Australia, and I came to New York, and I got a call that I'm from Shlomo. He says I'm speaking in this place. I remember the Upper East Side of New York. They asked me to come, perform, speak, whatever. One guy likes me there. He says, but it's like such a group of secular, really, high financial people, assimilated Jews, like no kasher at all. One guy thinks it'd be good. He says, I'm really uncomfortable there, which was a chiddush, like to see he was uncomfortable ever. So I said, okay, I feel bad for you. What do you want from me? So you want a good word? What do you want me to do? So he said, why don't you come with me? I want you to come with me. Like I'm gonna help. And he says, so you meet me there? Yeah, 9 o'clock. So we came to this beautiful apartment with a doorman and the whole thing, up on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. So I get there, tried to get there late, but you can never get there later than, no matter how hard you try. Tried to get there late, very, very uncomfortable. And I walked in, he wasn't there, of course, and as much as he described, and he had this koach of description of how uncomfortable a place to be, it was more uncomfortable than that. It was just everybody walking around with a cocktail and the women, it was just like so not comfortable. And I'm there with, it was Saturday night, so I'm there with like big day Shabbos, and just was so Anyways, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. I'm trying to make conversation. I'll go, where are you from? Australia. That helped a little bit. Kangaroos, there's a little bit of what to talk about Australia. So all of a sudden he walks in. He walked in, just as a mushal, like an interesting thing. Walks in through the back door, and he looks much stranger than me, like straight out of the 60s with the guitar and everything. And from the back, and as he walked to the front, maybe there's 60 people there or something like that. As he walked in, like he touched everybody on the back, I noticed. And as he touched them, they changed. It was like he found this switch on the spine. And he knew what to push, and he pushed the switch, and by the time he got to the front, you had a room full of hippies. And all of a sudden everyone sitting on the floor singing Karl Bach songs, started singing Erev Hashoshanim, I remember. It was like when it was just an amazing transition. But I'm not getting into the politics. I'm just saying of touching everyone on the back, etc. That's not my point. My point is that the idea is to find or in a place of choshech. And that's a gift. It's a gift probably he davened for, and we should daven for. It's a gift of being able to find or where you think there is no or. But that hishtalmut and that hitgadlut is exactly the tachlis and the purpose of the imperfection to begin with. Because this is what he says. This is b'diyuk Nefesh Hachaim. By the way, Nefesh Hachaim, all he's doing is making it harder, but he's making it more beautiful. Because the Nefesh Hachaim says clearly that the whole purpose of tefillah is to l'sakein olam b'malchus shakai. So the idea is that we're missing the tikkun, and it's made bedafka with its chesaron. Hashem made a Yaakov, Hashem made an Esav. Hashem made an Avram, Hashem made a Yishmael. There's a lot of zalum hazeh in the world, but the purpose of the chesaron is to be able to find the light of it and to perfect it and to bring it up. And that's the only way. So that's perfecting on perfection. It's perfecting on perfection. Oh, time to go. You're late. It's perfecting on perfection. Okay, and then we'll continue on Parak Yud Aleph. Parak Yud Aleph at the end. Willst du reden? Ich bin fertig.